Morning, Ali. I'm just dying today. No, not you. Sorry. Go lie down. Blinking dog. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to shut this blind down a little bit so it's not so glaring. No, wrong light. That's probably the best I can do. So, I'm just dyeing up some Shepherd's Delight on Andy's wool today. I haven't had a chance to do any dyeing this week. I've been busy painting the back of the house. So I'm just going to put little splodges. So I'm just got my dye pots out. 1 minute, let's see. Put some of that in there. And I want some greens, I think. Coffee bean. We've got Caribbean blue, that'll do. I'll have a little bit of that. So this is pinks and yellows in. A bit there. Because that'll just change into green in sections anyway, so I'm quite happy with a touch of that. What else have we got? Intense iris, I'll use some of that. So how are you today, Ali? I'm going to have to order some new cards off you, Ali. I've just sent off the last 2 today in some orders. So you'll have to let me know what you've got available. Just pop that in there. And a little bit there. Nope. So it's Saturday morning and it's cloudy. It's not supposed to rain today, and within 5 minutes of me putting the washing out, the rain arrived. So yeah, I think that sums up the weekend that I'm going to be having this week. But no, it's been quiet. Quiet. Just getting on with some work actually on the house. I've been waiting 3 years to get this, for 3 summers to get the house painted. So yeah, so I've just been trying to get that done. What we've got here, reds. Just push that over a bit. And that section as well, turn some orangey colours. And here as well, and squish some of that over into that yellow. It's got a bit mucky. Fine, okay. Oh, let's move the camera around a little. I can fit it in. So yeah, dye day. I've got some new fleeces in as well. So I've got Icelandic out in a big bucket outside in the garden. It's been soaking in some cold water outside now for, I think, 4 days now. It's been there soaking away. So that's out the back. So I think I'll get that out, drag it over to the big picnic table out in the backyard, back garden, and rinse that down. And then my Wensleydale shearling I ordered the other day from the Greasy Fleece Marketplace on Facebook. So I've got that. So that's just come. That's come from County Durham, from a hobby breeder over there. So I think she's only got 4 of them. And then my son is turned up today as well. So there's 3 of them, and you should see the size of the fleece. They're so dinky. Really dinky. So I'll be planning of what I'm doing for them. I need to get in touch with the buyers, the sellers, producers, and get a bit more information off them. And then what am I dyeing up this afternoon? So in my pots at the moment, I have got some Andes Stricken dyeing away, and I'm going to do my Shepherd's Delight sort of theme, a little bit of a play on that. And then what else am I doing today? I have got some UK Organic that I'm dyeing up, and I've got some Shropshire Top as well that I'm dyeing, and I have got some Teeswater Long Locks in my pot here now dyeing away. See? So I've got them on there. Took that back again. Blimey heck. Stand's got a mind of its own. What else? So I did an art yarn spinning video of one. I did mean to do the second part of that yesterday. But so I've got jobs that I need to do about the house. Bit of house maintenance needs to be done. Yard needed tidied. I've just ordered 2 new ducks that are coming next week. So I'm getting a drake and another female, but both of them are going to be white. So fingers crossed there might be some ducklings on the way in the next few months before the autumn kicks in, which will be cool. So I'll have to get in touch with my little cousin and see if she wants any ducklings. By that time, Phil would have got the second duck house up and ready and made up anyway. Well, it would help if I turned the flaming oven on, wouldn't it really? Oh, come on. There we go. I don't want that too hot because I've put in a bit too much liquid into the tray because I thought I had more fibre than that. So obviously everybody's out busy. It's Saturday, it's the weekend. We have got miserable weather. We're not getting much higher than 16, 17 degrees, and when it's cloudy it just feels dead muggy. I'm just waiting for some thunder and lightning to kick in. I think that'll clear the weather up and just get us back to some nice proper sunshine. What else have I been up to? Oh, I found hopefully, depends how this fleece comes out, I've got a Wensleydale from a little village just up the road from us, so maybe a new supplier, and went and picked that up yesterday, a big bag of it from the lass's work. So she said her auntie's got Teeswater as well, and she's got shearlings that she'll be doing in the next few weeks of those, so fingers crossed it might be hopefully a local supplier instead of me having to just be able to buy a kilo at a time from Clitheroe, which is fine because I don't have a lot of room to stock everything, but it means that I could maybe over the next few months actually get a whole fleece washed outside. It'll just save me a bit of time as well if I can just stick, once it's all washed and cleaned, I can just stick it straight in the pots instead of me having to soak it and clean it all in batches, which is great, not a problem. But cost wise, buying a kilo of Teeswater long locks and Wensleydale long locks for 30 quid a kilo is a lot of money, considering I can't find any other breeders unless they're selling them all in one fleece, and then they're all gone. As soon as they're on the market, they're gone. So as a winter supply, that's great, but it'd be good if I could find something that can actually be affordable to me instead of having to pay out 90 quid for the fleece, which I genuinely begrudge doing that. So yeah, so fingers crossed it might be the chance of a supplier, but she did say that her dad's got a farm over in Penrith and he's got Teeswater fleeces over there. So that definitely needs to be sorted out because I'm spending far too much money on locks and the preparation time. Hiya Liz. What else? So no, nothing much. Really, really quiet on the shop front. Obviously everyone's saving their money up to go staycations. So that's why I've not been dyeing as much stuff, because I've got nowhere to put all my bats. So I need to sell them, otherwise I can't make any more. What have we got? So I'm just dyeing up some Vibrant Iris here. locks are in the pot now. Hopefully they won't bleed into each other too much. I might have to take some of that water out actually. That's far too much water in there. I might try and do it this way. Just listening, can't speak. Yes, I know you can't speak, Liz. That Usant fleeces turned up today, Liz. I took one out of the bag. Oh my God, they are so tiny. You could felt it and wrap a child in it, it's that small. Fingers crossed your tour de fleece should turn up today. I can't see why it'll take any longer because we posted it out on Wednesday. So you should get it today. For the first time, I think about 6 months, we've had letter posted today as well, which we don't normally. Usually Saturdays has been reserved for parcels only from Royal Mail. So we've had letters today. Try and take this out. I was only able to make a tuffet out of mine. Yeah, I've got 3 of them, so let me see. I've got 3 of these in that bag. Compared to the size of some of the fleeces that I've had, this is gigantic. Well, I say gigantic, it's so tiny. Oh, it's stretching. It's actually stretched. So that is nothing really, is it? In comparison to some big ones. And it is really, really light. Really light. She said it's only about 700 grams on each one. So that should turn out really nice. Oh, it's so fluffy. It's really, really soft. I wasn't expecting it to be so soft. Because they're a little hardy sheep, aren't they? So, yeah, I mean, it's quite short. Tiny little crimps on there. And it's only, yeah, I would say, what, 1.5 inches. Just come in for a break, painting your rocking chair and table. So, yeah, the crimp on that, yeah, it's a nice little crimp. And about 1.5 inches staple end, so that makes some really nice little bats. Oh, lost a bit. Yeah, I don't know, my battery, I completely forgot. I was watching my YouTube channels while I was busy doing stuff. So, hopefully, my iPhone will hang around for a bit longer. Yeah, so I've got 3 of those, so that'll be really cool. So I'm going to do a video on my YouTube, but I'm going to do a proper breed study. So, what I was thinking, I never had a chance to speak to you about it the other day, but when I've noticed that when people are buying their fleeces, they're not asking questions about the breeder and how long they've been doing it for, or the producer, or how long they've been doing it for, or they're a large farm, or they're just a hobby breeder, and this, that, and the other. And even when I've gone looking on YouTube and people have been doing the breed studies, some people are just literally reading from a book. I want to do my videos, whereas I've got like a bio of information, like doing maybe 2 parts or something, a bio of information about the breeder and producer and how you can maybe contact them, or any other information about them and how they got into it and what their plans are for the future, and try and help promote them, because how are we supposed to save breeders and hobby breeders with rare breed? Get away from that Iona away. How are we supposed to help them and promote them? I mean, at the moment, I think Wilboard last year was £16, 16 pence a kilo. This year's 20 pence a kilo, and by the time, and the fact the producer's got to take that wool down to them themselves, so that's fuel costs. They've got to bag it all, and they're getting 20 pence a kilo. I mean, what's the point of that? And I remember last year there was farms burning fleeces. Now, I know in the gardening world at the moment, I've actually seen it down at my local garden centre. They've got compost that has sheep's fleece in it. and it's been broken down like that. And I use my fleeces, the ones that I don't think are very good for spinning, and I don't particularly like. I stick them out on my gigantic, my 10-foot long raised bedding that's up the back that I'm cultivating at the moment, just to suppress the weeds down. I use it in the bottom of my big planters, you know, little gigantic ones, and I put them down the bottom, and it not only helps retain moisture in the soil at the bottom, but it makes it a lighter pot as well. It's not so heavy if you've got like half a fleece down a fleece in half of the bucket and then the soil on the top, because there's plenty of room for those plants will quite happily do roots inside those fleeces. I've got a hanging basket out there out in the yard. It's got pansies in there still going from 2 winters ago with the same fleece bedding that I put around it. There's so many uses for it. So what I want to do for my YouTube channel is do a bio on the producer, the hobby farmer, a bit more information about why they have that stock. Is it because purely they wanted to buy it for the fleece, or they thought they were cute, or is it bio, like for the meat as well as the wool, which is generally the case these days, especially with sheep like Texels and stuff like that. And then I want to do the preparation of the fibres, and then dyeing the fibres and selling them in like packs of like 150 grams, so there'll be 2 colours dyed up and a natural of that one carded up as well. So that's what I want to do. As I say, when I've looked on YouTube and looked at other people's channels, they're reading from the fibre book. I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's fine reading from that, but do a bit more background information. Help promote that person that's created that animal, looked after it, got it through the winter, got it through the lambing season. So I really think that how are we supposed to help them if we don't help promote them from our producing side of things to the crafters that are going to buy that material? So anyway, that's me on my soapbox. And if I can do it like that, then I'll be quite happy, and I might even see if there's any local farmers that I can get to in the Cumbria area, maybe as time goes on, maybe somewhere else, and go and actually have a proper chat and go and get photos and videos of the farms that I'm getting these fleeces from, and do it as a proper breed bio. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the subject. I've always asked loads of questions of breeders. I've had the same breeders for at least 3 years now, and you know them really well. I mean, that's great that you can do that, Liz. Where I am, I only just found, I didn't even know that there was a Wensleydale breeder through in Frizzington. Our auntie does Teeswater through in Frizzington, which is like, I don't know, 10 minutes in the car. It's just like the next 4 villages away from where I am. And then the last that I got this Wensleydale from yesterday, her dad breeds these Wensleydales over in Penrith. So unless I can actually find them, because it's not like you can go Googling for breeders and know if they're actually selling the fleeces or not. I have to wait till they pop up on Facebook, on the Greasy Fleece Marketplace on Facebook, before I can actually find these people. And this is the first time in 2 years that I've actually found local breeder. So I went and picked up this big bag of fleece yesterday, and the lass said that she might be able to sort it out, that I can go and actually speak to her auntie about what she does. Last year was the first time you didn't collect your fleeces due to COVID. Yeah, I mean, I got fleeces just before COVID last year, and that was the Swart Bulls and the Texel crosses with Cheviot. They're still upstairs under my bed, still haven't had a chance. But that was literally the week before COVID lockdown. But yeah, I'm just constantly trying to look for breeders. And then once I tell them where to look for things, and if they can point me in the direction of other breeders in the area, then I can maybe help promote them as well, which I think is all about. We just need to do it. They can't just do it on their own. They need us to help them. And what's the point of us being up in arms for what the farmers... Maybe if the wool board start realising that they're actually making more money from selling directly to us, they might actually start taking a bloody good look at themselves and thinking, all right, maybe we are ripping them off. And the wool's probably going abroad. I mean, then the wool's probably going off to mills in Portugal, because I know for a fact that a lot of our wool goes to Portugal. and goes to the mills, and they make carpets which are then re-imported back to us in the UK, which frustrates the hell out of me, because since the 1980s, all our mass industry has been completely demolished, that we're not even self-sufficient anymore in any type of industry. When we're off in the camper van, I look out for lovely sheep, and I've been known to go knocking on farmers' doors. Yeah, but you're just really naughty. Hiya, Queen Bee. Queen Beads. Good morning, sweetie. So, yeah, I'm on a proper high horse about it. I've been feeling really passionate about this for a long time. And I think, well, now that I've got my YouTube channel, I definitely need to try and help that way if I can. It's not just about me selling it, it's about trying to help promote what we can do as a country. Yeah, anyway, I'm a rambler. I'm in a rambling mood today. I feel like I haven't spoke to anybody for about 3 weeks. It's heartbreaking that the wool isn't valued. I know. And the thing is, though, in the wool board, your Wensleydales and Teeswaters are put in the same bags with Cheviots. And they're not even separated and valued at the luxury standards or down to the upholstery textiles that are going off to the cars, like to the car manufacturers for the cushion covers and things like that. So it's not even separated for them. They're literally, no matter what breed of sheep you've got, it's all going in the same bag, all getting washed in the big same things, and getting sold in bulk, and they're probably making a profit off of that, selling that abroad, which is just so annoying. Keep that profit in the country. And I do know that I'm sure I've been reading recently, there's a couple of cooperative mills that people are trying to get sorted out down the south near Cornwall. I might have to look that up properly, but I'm definitely sure I've heard on the grapevine on Facebook and a couple of places that there's a group of people trying to sort that out. Hi Sarah. So in Wales there are 2 or 3 co-op producers and fibre artists, early stages yet, but will work well. Well, we need to have that in every county, I think, and just help promoting each other, help getting the work done. There's a new guy, he bought a load of I think it was Italian maybe, milling machinery, and he's on one of those spinning Facebook pages. I haven't actually seen him post anything for a while, so I've seen him on there, and he was talking about getting fleeces and trying to get them from the greasy marketplace as well, and just giving them whatever the going rate was at a reasonable amount, and then milling the wool off and then selling it, outsourcing it as well. So we'll see if that actually happens. I think he might have been in Yorkshire somewhere. I think he might have been. But then you've got Wingham Wool and you've got World of Wool that have got their own milling situations, but they're not the same as doing it from raw. But I'm definitely going to have to do a bit more information. There's one thing I love doing is researching, so I'm going to have to get my pen and paper out and start actually doing some proper investigating on it. I've got a brain like a sieve. You sound like me when you go for one, passionate about what we do. Yeah, because if it wasn't for those folk, I wouldn't have a job, would I? I mean, fair enough, I don't make much money, I don't make a massive profit. I make enough to have a little cheeky takeaway once a month, which is my major treat because I'm a fibro, so I have to be careful what I eat. But anyway, so another story. And it pays my monthly credit cards and probably buys a week's worth of shopping when I'm having a good month. So yeah, I'm not making a lot of money at what I'm doing, but if it wasn't for those farmers, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing anyway. And it keeps me sane, because if I go and work for an employer, I'm going to end up in jail for mass murder. Because I can't work for an employer. No, I haven't got the patience for them anymore. Just bear with us a sec, just take this pot off. Right, there was another purple I wanted to do. Right, that's intense. There it is. Aubergine. yes, I do get very, very passionate when there's a subject that I'm really interested in. But I mean, when I do these breed things, these aren't just for breeders in Cumbria. I mean, if I can help them out, as I say, I will do. I'm quite happy to do that. But I'm on about the UK as a whole. So if anybody knows of any breeders and have their contact details for me to maybe get in touch and try and get some fleece off them of different types of breeds, even if I can only just get a kilo, I'm quite happy with a kilo, because as I say, I haven't got the space for everything. But I'm quite happy to buy a kilo of a specific breed at any one time and then do the info and background on that anywhere in the UK. So yeah, rant over. So what have I got to do? I've got to soak wool. I've got to get this wool out the sink. I've got to get my locks out. Well, they're nearly done actually. Not long. Sit down and soak in them. So is anybody up to anything interesting during the week? I've just been painting the house. Oh, Liz, I'm getting a side duck and an Evie Monday, Tuesday. I'm getting 2 more Indian runners. So Phil wanted to call one side duck for ages, and I wouldn't let him last time. We called them Willow and Fleur. So I'm getting 2 white ducks, Indian runners. I should have some fleeces in a few weeks' time. I'll let you know. Oh, cool. Thank you, sweetie. Loving the Disco Diva bat and locks. Oh, did you really like it? It is really funky, that is. Definitely. I stuck in a little bit more neon colours in with that one in comparison to the art yarn that I did. But there's loads and loads and loads of sparkle bits in that. And the locks. You got the last of that set. I think I threw in about 50 grams or something like that into that pack the other day. So I've lost my train of thought. Yes, Psyduck. Psyduck is Mr. Psyduck. So I'm getting a Drake. So if I end up with any ducklings, which probably will, then if anybody wants one, just give me a shout and they can have one. But they like to live together. So you should always have 2 of them because they don't like to be on their own. So if anybody wants an Indian runner from me, once the ducks are having ducklings, you're more than welcome to come down and get some. Oh, it's no problem, Hilly. Not a problem, sweetie. Oh. So next week I'm only doing one-off bats. I'm not doing 2 lots of everything because my bats have only got about another 1.5 foot until they're touching the ceiling. So yeah, and I've got to dye up for batty clubs as well. I think I might do them tomorrow. So I've got to finish up dyeing them up. Yeah, baby ducks, little ducklings. So I asked Richard. I phoned Richard up the other day from the. I'm sure is it in Longtown? I think he's in Longtown, but he's an agricultural feed supplier. But he has Corky Campbell's. I think he has some hens, and he has the Indian runner ducks. And he's just, he was on the phone when I phoned him yesterday, and he was saying, what was it? He says, you did something with Will, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah. So I explained to him what it was that I did. And he's like, oh, would you be interested in some shearling Texel fleeces? I went, oh, God. Well, I call them the mother care bouncers because they're the ugliest sheep in the world. But they're great mums. So I says, well, particularly, no, not really. But if you want to get them off your hands, instead of you burning them or throwing them on the composter, says, bring one over for me. So he's just doing it as a hobby. He's got 3 of them. And then he says, in a couple of months' time, he says, I've got 3 new Paul Dorset coming. I went, you are kidding. I was trying to get Paul Dorset fleece shearling the other day there on Facebook. And by the time the lass had actually answered me, and she only put it up there for 5 minutes, by the time she got round to answering me, they'd gone. So it's a fleece I wanted to try. So he says they're actually in the field with the owner at the moment now being topped. Or they will be in the next week or so, and then he's going to have them. So he says I can have the shearlings, the fleeces off of those as well. So he's gonna, when he comes and drops off the new ducks on Monday or Tuesday, get a proper chat with him, and then I might actually try and figure a way out of trying to help make him some money out of his fleeces, because he's giving me them for free. So that's cool. Half Scottish, can't do without a freebie. Can't do without a freebie. Yeah, I know, the textile faces look like they've run into a wall. They are the ugliest sheep ever. They look like men. They're like a ram. They look like they should have horns. We've got them. All of a sudden, it just seemed quite popular to have them in the field. So up the back lane, which is like a second route to get out of our village, because we're on a rat run. So people come out of Whitehaven from Sellafield, cut down this road so they can get to Harrington and get to Workington or whatever that way quicker. Otherwise, if they go in Cockermouth or Carlisle, they hit the main road, the A595, right up on the other side of the field. But they run up the back, and there's 3 fields up there, and they've all got texels in. And then there's a couple of farms over that way, like Arlington and Frizzington, and I think Cleater as well, a couple of farms around there. And they're all texels, but they're massive sheep, and they get loads of meat off them, so I can totally understand why they're buying them. But it's definitely not for their beauty factor, I'm telling you now. They are pug ugly. Pug ugly. So yeah, I don't really like the look of them. I don't want to cuddle one, put it that way. And then what have we got? We've got Herdwicks. So when we're coming down from Branstey, from town, if we take the quick road over the hill, and we're coming down the hill there was Herdwicks in that field, and there was Herdwicks just at the end of our road as well, but now the cows have come, so those sheep will be off to be getting ready for tupping, and the baby cows are in the fields either side of the road, so at the church at Morrisby and Morrisby Hall. So yeah, so if I want to go and moo over the cows, then I can if I want to. I love cows. In the cottage that we lived in, up on Harris Moor, there was the field. The cows, gigantic, even when they're young, like 18 months old, and they're like that tall. And they'd come over to the back of the fence, and I'd feed them my chard out the back garden because it had gone to seed. I'd quite happily munch away on that. And they'd like scratching in between. And they're so happy to let you give them a good rub on the foreheads. They absolutely loved it. There was one, it was number 43 Mackenzie, and it would just stand there for ages, and I would have to scratch it for about 20 minutes at any one time in between its eyes. So happy. Yeah, I love cows. I absolutely love them. Sheep, I'm a little bit dubious with. She says, who deals in sheep? But yeah, I have never met a sheep. I've not had the privilege. Hopefully one day soon I will do. But I've never actually met a sheep face to face. They've got those beady eyes, as if to say, I don't quite trust you. So yeah, how's this going on? Well, that one's done. Come on, move out the way, love. No, go lie down. Don't get under my feet now. Don't be a naughty girl. Go lie down. So is anybody going away in the next few weeks? Does anybody get themselves any bargains on the old flea shearing? I think we've got another couple of weeks that people will still be shearing them. I'm hoping to get a valet. I need to message somebody to see when she's getting her shearlings sheared, because that I need to try. So yeah, I want one of those. No, nothing. No plans for going away anywhere. I'm going away September, fingers crossed, if things don't go awry. I've got my second COVID jab to take off to Wales the end of the month. Where are you going in Wales, Sarah? Yeah, I've got my second jab to get the first week in July. So I was hoping I'd get called in early to get any. You've got Romney fleece. Oh, that's actually, I love spinning Romney as a roving is really nice. My jumper, the one that's made out of single Romney. I spun it into singles and it's really, really nice. I still have to unravel this flaming jumper. This one. This is made out of Romney. Grey, what else did I put in with it? I think it's Romney and I blended it with some natural grey Suffolk. So that's what's in that. Look at that. And I've got to flaming unravel it all and all. Look at that, pretty. That's my Scandinavian jumper. So, yeah. And I've got to unravel the lot of it. I've avoided it because I just know I'd be like, oh, God. So, yeah, I've got to do that. Why? Because it's too small. Do you not remember the conversation a couple of months ago about what projects I've been doing, and that I knitted this jumper and I got down to the ribbing of it and I put it on to see what it was like and I could get my arms through the top of it. But see this? Now I've not got the biggest chest in the world, yet this can't get over my boobs. So I was absolutely gutted because Jo doesn't do swatches. Jo thinks she knows everything, but Jo's only been knitting for a year. So, yeah. So I've got to unravel it all and start again. I think I can get into this top bit. So I think I might just do it to here and then change my needles into 2 sizes up. What number were they? That's a Knit Picks needle, right? And you know how they usually have the print of the number on it? Not there. So I'll have to find my knitting needle guide and see what size they were. But I think that might be a 4. So I think maybe go up to a 5.5, maybe a 6. Yeah, exactly. Oh. So one was not amused. So yeah, and I was really pleased with myself because it only took me like a space of a week to 2, week and a half to knit it to that, and all I had to do was my arms, which are supposed to be bat winged. Oh well, looks like I won't be knitting my chicken cardigan then for a while, because I've got a pattern for a chicken cardigan, but it's like a Fair Isle pattern, so it's all the way down, and it's got chickens all the way around the waistband. So I'm not allowing myself to do that till I get that monstrosity sorted out and re-knitted. Right, my locks are done. What have I done with my towel? Iona, can you go lie down and stop standing there? Go lie down, good girl. Go lie down. Oh, for crying out loud. You think the dog gets battered? Right, so that's one job done. I just need to get these rinsed off. I need a cup of coffee. Actually, no, I'll have a fruit tea. Move that out of the way. So, has anybody got any projects on the go at the moment that they're feeling a bit fed up with because it's not going quite the way they want it? So the art yarn spinning video that I did the other day there, I will do the next one. I might have a chance to do it tomorrow because his Nibs is working all day tomorrow, so I have got the house in peace and quiet, so I'll definitely get that done tomorrow, because all I've got to die tomorrow if I don't do it today are batty clubs. And I've got to take out my Icelandic fleece that's in the big bucket out the backyard It's been soaking for the last 4 days. That's why I knit shawls, they always fit. There's always a smart arse in the family, isn't there, Hilly? Yeah, I do. I really, 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 really love knitting shawls. But I've only got one pair of shoulders and I don't know anybody that I can give them to. So, yeah, I can only do so many. But I've been spinning off in the evening because I won't have a chance to do it in a couple of weeks for the Tour de Fleece. So I've been spinning off my my bats that I did for myself out of my the colourway. And it's really, really lovely. See that really strong orange deep bamboo, that orangey coloured mandarin or something it was. So that really pops in the wool on the in the yarn. So I'm just debating whether I'm going to knit something in singles or am I going to apply it and hope that I've got enough to do a really nice big lightweight summery shawl. Because I've not knitted it. I haven't done a shawl for myself, I think, for 2 years. But then I was really, really tempted to get my loom out, my big loom, and weave a nice big length of scarf. So maybe, I haven't made up my mind yet. But if I do that, then I'm going to have to do a yarn order for Airedale Yarns because all I've got is linen. Unless I plied up my cottons and my tweedy wool to give it some strength, and then use that for my warping, because my threads are all a bit either really thin or they're not strong enough, they're a bit brittle. So like this is a tweed. Oh. That's a tweed. That's a Harris tweed yarn, is it? Shetland, yeah. Harris, Shetland wool tweed, weave, felt and crochet, which is fine to weave with as a weft, but not as a warp. So, because look at, see, so I'd have to apply something stronger like a linen. But it's just such a headache, and I haven't felt like getting my loom out for ages to weave with. I just thought, it takes so long to flame and warp it up. And then if you use the wrong warping threads, in the sense of they're really, really thin, it's different if you've got a shaft loom or something like that. It can hold its own, but not on a rigid heddle loom. I find that if I'm using, the thinner the warp, the worse it is to wind on because it all catches up. You end up with different lengths, and I just find it really, really frustrating. So generally, if I'm weaving, I only use my hand spun. So I'll use my hand spun for the warp and the weft. So maybe I just have to get a grip of myself and weave, spin up some singles and ply them with some linen or something like that, or even that tweed. That would probably do the job just fine anyway if it's done with my own hand spun singles. Tea. Tea. You got any honey? Oh. And a tea bag. You're into spinning singles just now? Yeah, I actually quite enjoy doing them. I've got, potentially, sent the invoice off for it, hopefully be settled next week, a order for 1 kilo of singles with locks spun into it. 1 kilo. So this is why I'm spinning up my wool from a Tour de Fleece now. So what I'll do in the evening is just sit there and crochet or knit something out of the wool that I've done, just to help me relax, because I've got to spin up 100 grams each day over a 10 or 2 week period. Plus I've got to dye all the wool up for it as well, and the locks. So yeah, so that's what I'll be doing for the Tour de Fleece. Spinning an order. Which I don't mind. More and more practice. man out of the way, leave me alone. So not quite enjoy certain wools that I can get it really, really thin. But you don't want it too thin when you're spinning singles, I don't think. You want it to look like a fingering weight, personally. But then you can do singles in like as chunky as you want to do. It depends on what you want the subject for. Weaving, I think, is fine, no problem. It doesn't matter if it's thick or thin because it all evens itself out in the warp. Well, in the weaving sections. But I am tempted to get my rigid heddle loom out. But I need a couple of sunny days because I have to have it outside in the yard. I've got no room for it in here. And if I want to warp it, I need to do it outside. Just no room in this house to do that. I've tried and it's a right pain in the backside. So no, I want some sunny days, some warmer days, and then I can do some weaving if I'm in the mood for it. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, and I've got my chicken pattern that I want to do, my chicken cardigan. I want to do that, but I need to do that cardigan first. I want to knit myself a summer shawl, but by the time I've done the summer shawl, it's going to be flaming winter. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I've got no aspirations for anything else. I'm just trying to keep myself busy. So, yeah. Time are we at? Oh, 5 to 1. Crikey, that hour went fast, didn't it? I think I came on here about 10 past 12. So, yeah, so new video content will be getting started, I think, next week now that I've got this Wisant fleece. So I did show it earlier on, I'll show it again. Hold on a sec. Oh. There's one. Are you ready for this? That is one fleece from these little sheep. Look at the size of that. It's tiny. So I unravelled one earlier on, but I sort of here on my own, which just about sums up my life. So yeah, I'm trying to find the beginning and end of it because it's so flipping tiny. But this is from that Wisant sheep. I cannot find the beginning or end of this flaming thing. Where is it? Right. So, you know the fireside rugs that you get from the shop? You know the proper sheepskin rugs that are about that big? That's the size of this. You usually write your own patterns, but I love the Kate Whitting Knitting Patterns was going to do one of her shawls next week. I haven't heard of her. I'll go and grab the pattern in a minute of the one that I want, the cardigan I want to do. So this makes me think of a fireside rug. It's that small. And the weight of this fleece is only 700 grams. Look. I can't find the beginning, flaming ends of the thing. That way. Yeah. So in comparison to a Mothercare bouncing textile, this is tiny. And it's light as a feather. I can't wait to have a try of it. And it's so soft. And it's really, really soft wool. And considering it's a sheep that's left out in the wilderness, and quite a hardy little beast as well, I'm really surprised how soft that was. I was expecting it to sort of be like a Shetland cross texel. But I'm so happily pleased. Bear with me a second. I want to move from under my feet, love. Go. Yes. I'm always having to blink in. I'm trying to go anywhere in this house. The dog has to go in front of me. She has no idea where the flaming hell I'm going, yet she still has to be in front of me. What have I got? Where is it? Yeah, this one. Oh. So I'll see if I picture in a minute of the actual pattern. So she does them in bumblebees as well. So there's bumblebees on that cardigan, and I absolutely love that. So I've got the pattern for that one. Try and find a proper picture of the actual pattern of the chickens on it. Yeah, there we go. So look, there's little chickens and toadstools. So that is, who is it? Is Hillary, can't even say Hillary Fluff and the Magic Fungi by Bonnie Moth. You can't say that with a straight face. Yeah, Hillary Fluff and the Magic Fungi by a designer called Bonnie Moth. So yeah, I'm so childish. So yeah, I'm going to do both of those, the chicken and mushroom, and I'm going to do the bumblebee one as well. But I'm not allowed to do it until I get that flaming Scandinavian one done. So yeah, I know, that's hilarious. I mean, I'm now wondering why the name of that design has never stuck in my head before. Oh dear, I'm so childish. Bonnie Muff, there you go. She's on Ravelry. She's on Ravelry. You can find her on there. Bonnie Muff, the designer. But if you want that pattern, I think it only cost me maybe about £5 for that pattern from Ravelry. I can never say that word right. See, because I've got a tooth missing at the front, my tongue gets stuck in the front of it. Say it again. What, Ravelry? Oh, Hillary. Yeah, I can't say Hillary. But that's because Hilly B, she has about 27 L's in her name. So whenever I go to say Hillary, my brain automatically looks at Hillbilly, like Hilly B. Flaming X, see? I don't need to go out the house to entertain myself. I just need you guys on Instagram. So, yeah. Oh, dear. Bonnie Muff, the designer. Flipping heck. Right, well, after that intriguing moment of Joe's immaturity level at 46 years old, I better go and get some work done. It is 1:05. I will be doing the chat about the Usenet next week. Hiya, Masha. I'm just about... Lisa's still crying. Oh, dear. It was so funny. I have actually genuinely got tears in my flaming eyes. See? This is why I'm not allowed out on my own. Right, so this no doubt will be up on my Instagram later on if you want to watch Joe making a prat of herself. And it will be on my YouTube channel as well, at Willie Cottage Fibre Shop on YouTube. And watch out for my new content. So next week, at probably the end of the week, once I've got a bit more information and the bio sorted out, I'm going to be doing my first producer to breed study on my YouTube channel. So watch out for the alerts on that. Remember to subscribe as well. Yeah, Liz, stop crying, love. It's all right. I'll be fine now. Stop. Everybody, go and look up the designer, Bonnie Muff. I'll see you later.